Hi, my name's Kathleen and I welcome you to another video from Road to Freedom Life Coaching. Today I will continue my video on happiness. Happiness was something that we understood a lot when we were just a child, a small child. And as we grew, we started losing a little bit of that easy happiness that would flow out of us. You know, when you're really a small child, you could be happy looking at some bugs under a rock. I mean, there was a lot that thrilled us when we were little. It didn't take too much to just make us really happy. And I wanted to talk a little bit today about what happened to us and how we can get back to some of that happiness that we started here with. And the first thing I want to say is that happiness is in here. Happiness is something that we did bring here with us. And in the course of living here, we have forgotten how that happiness really worked with us. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about how to get that back. Have you been very happy lately? Does it seem like it's tougher to be happy, like it's something you have to really work at? If it is, you're not alone. This is something that happens to most of us while we're here. And so let's look at ourselves as little ones. You know, you were just running around. You couldn't wait to get up in the morning. You didn't want to take a nap because then you might miss something. And then we grow and we start feeling different kinds of feelings of pain. And we become afraid. And we lose this natural connection that we have to happiness. But it's not really lost. We can definitely connect with it again. We just have kind of forgotten where we put it in here. And so what I'd like to help you understand is that you can always learn to connect back to that happiness you had when you were a child. So the child starts to grow and the child starts to learn things in life like, sometimes people get angry. Even our little friends could get angry at us. And we started changing inside. We started looking at life not as these excited little scientists running around, which is how I look at little ones. We started looking at life in some ways coming from more fear than anything else, depending how you grew up. And you know, you gotta leave mom and you gotta go to school, and you have these grown-ups who are, some of them are just absolutely wonderful, and some of them should not be in the profession that they are in. And so I'm sure we had a mixture of both. I still remember my 6th grade teacher, Mrs. Oliver, who I absolutely adored, and I'm sure you have memories of teachers that you just really loved. And so we go to school, and maybe we're struggling a little bit in one area, and we see a friend of ours who's not struggling at all. And this is somewhat of where we start losing that connection to our happiness, because we go into what I call the if-onlys. And if-only is out. It's out there. It's this if-only land, this if-only place. And we start thinking, if only I could do my report like she does. If only I could draw like her. If only I could color like her. if only I had as many friends as her. And the list goes on. And unfortunately, for most of us, it didn't stop there. We all of a sudden get drawn into this illusion, because it is not a truth, that if only we can get to if only land, then we will find our happiness there. And of course, our if onlys change when we become older. But one thing that this world does right now, very, very good, it does a very good job at this, it really reinforces the if only. If you watch TV a lot, I'm sure you see lots of commercials for cars and trucks, and it's very easy to fall in that trap of, oh, if only I had that truck, and if only it was paid off. Well, for me it would be, if only I had that Jeep, because I love Jeeps. If only I could get this paid off, and then I could get that. And we all think that if we get to this if only land, that we will find the happiness that has somehow been eluding us. And so we go on with our if onlys, if only, if only, if only. But I know for myself, and I'm sure for you also, you had goals and if onlys that you had years and years ago, and probably a lot of those you did accomplish. Some you don't, some you do. And so if you did get to your if only land, and if you did accomplish what you had set out to do or buy or have, then why are you still unhappy now? And that's what I really want to discuss, because happiness doesn't come from our list of if onlys and accomplishing that list of getting to the if onlys. And what I'm saying here is very, very different from what we are bombarded with in society. What I'm saying is the happiness is in here. You haven't lost it. It's not gone for good. You're just having a little bit of trouble finding it and tapping into it again. And sometimes we do have to look to children for our example. I live in a very beautiful part of the United States, which has magnificent views, amazing mountains, and I can go on a drive and I can look at this incredible earth, this incredible land, and I will just have this feeling of awe settle over me. And that's how a little child would look at it. A little child would just be so amazed with a rock or a bug or a flower or whatever. We need to remember how we looked at things when we were little. That child didn't look at, a bug, or let's say a ladybug, and say, well, she's okay, but I think she'd be better if she was purple. If only she was purple, then she'd be a pretty good ladybug. That's not what children do. Children look at things and they just like them. They are these little scientists, and they just want to observe and find out more about them. And I think that's how we all have those instances in life when you've looked at a rainbow, or you've looked out on the ocean, and whatever views you have. And we accept that rainbow, we accept that view, and we think, oh my gosh, it is just gorgeous. And in that moment, when we feel like that, everything's good. Everything is just exactly how it's supposed to be. We don't want to change that view. What we do is we accept it. We accept that beautiful view and we love it just like it is. And that's where we got to get back to. So when we get stuck in the if-onlys, we get stuck in the end result of things, you know. If only I could have that Jeep. If only. And then what would happen to me is I would spend my days looking at where I was. Let's say I'm at A and my Jeep's at B. And instead of concentrating on my path from A to B, I would be thinking more about B, the outcome of what I wanted to do, which would be to own that Jeep. And that is a surefire way to get lost here, to not feel happiness. Because even when I would have the Jeep, I would have it for so long and I would say, oh, well now, if only I had this, or if only I had that. Because our happiness inside does not come from the outside. There are things that make our life easier. But a big truth to understand here is the fact that it is not the end result. It's not the Jeep. It's not the new house. It's not we're putting floors in our home right now. It's not the end result of the floor. Those are nice, and it's nice to have that done, but that does not make us happy and feel joy. What makes us feel joy is putting more of our energy into our journey, into my journey to get to that Jeep. And if I can do that and love every day and love what I'm doing, then, you know, I will probably end up with that Jeep anyway. And every day I will have enjoyed myself along the way. So if we want to find our happiness, we need to get ourselves unstuck from the land of if only, and instead help ourselves love every day. Find out what makes us happy. Find out about what do you want to do on your journey here. You know, it's an everyday thing. I had my nephew and his sweet wife and their kids in town the last few days, and I just thoroughly enjoyed them. And when we have such happiness and we can thoroughly enjoy these wonderful people we're around, we get that sense of happiness because we like what we're doing. We are so happy with our day that day. And really that's what we have. We have what's happening right now. So one of the best things that we can do for ourselves is to get to know ourselves. What does make me happy? What makes you happy? And if you haven't asked yourself that yet, what are those things that open up these happiness centers for you? If you don't even know what those things might be, and it's true that there might be things coming up in your life in the future, in mine, that we don't even know about yet that make us incredibly happy. And when I say make us incredibly happy, I want you to understand, I am not saying that thing has the power over me to make me happy. Everything is energy. And I'm energy, you're energy. We're all vibrating at a certain speed. And there are things in life that match with that with us. And it's up to us to allow that match to happen. Allow that energy to flow. So it's up to me when I find something in life that really matches with me and I just enjoy it so much. Inside of me then, these centers open up and that happiness just kind of starts bubbling out. And that's what I mean by making me happy. It's kind of maybe not the best way to say that, but it is definitely the journey that will bring us happiness and joy. And if we are living and loving every day what we do, then whether we get that Jeep or whether we don't, it doesn't really matter because I am having a blast anyway. So I might decide on a different Jeep sometime. It'll probably still be a Jeep though. And so it's important not to give our power away. It's important not to stay in the land of if only, because then we don't have much of a chance of staying happy for very long. Because even if you do get to if only, even if I do get the Jeep, we're not that happy that long once we get it. We have another quest then we are out after. And so you have to understand that about humans. We love our quests. We love our journeys. We've just forgotten that. We've forgotten it's the everyday living that will bring us happiness and joy, not what's at the end of the quest we have. If you're just living for the end, then you're going to miss most of your life. If you're saying to yourself, and I hear it all the time, I'll never be happy unless I weigh 120 pounds. I just could never be happy unless I have 10,000 in the bank. You know, just spending money. Oh, I will never be happy unless my husband gets me those earrings. You know, with my husband it might be, I'll never be happy unless I get this truck engine just how I want it. I'll never be happy. I'll never be happy. I'll never be happy. And these are self-fulfilling prophecies. So that's the last thing you want to do, is set yourself up like that. That's a surefire way to try to find more unhappiness. The secret is write down what you love. Write down what you're attracted to. Write down what do you look up when you go online? You know, what are your interests? And little by little, every day, start working your way towards that. Take a class. Get some books out of the library. Find out more about that subject. This will bring you joy. This will bring you happiness, because your end result and my end result can change all the time. And hasn't it ever been that you set out to accomplish one thing and it ended up going exactly the opposite of what was in your heart? So we have a lot of control on our journeys, but a lot of the outcome we don't have control over. There are so many different factors that could play into that and make things change. So the secret is to love the journey, to stand back, take some of that childhood wonder you used to have and bring it to the surface again. Look around, appreciate what's around you. Think about what you love, and that will help you connect more and allow that happiness to come out. Now there's another thing about happiness and about our brains, and that is that we have to practice, because we've gotten out of practice from being little and just accepting life and accepting the good things in life and even the trials in life. I can promise you that if you cannot find a way to accept what is in your life, what is before you, if you are unhappy with your work, then admit that you are unhappy. Don't push it away. Admit it. If you are unhappy in a relationship, after you have tried and tried, if it is not matching, you will continue to be unhappy if you do not wake up and see what is right before you. Once we can accept what is before us, then a lot of the strength, the power that it did have over us just kind of melts away once we see truth. And since we have been children, it is like we have been on this quest to be unhappy, because we listen to society, we listen to our little friends and then our bigger friends and then TV commercials, and and we felt like if we couldn't get to if only, we were never going to be happy. And now you understand it's the journey. It's not the end result. Our end results could change. We could change our mind. But I know this. I know that if we're happy with what we're doing and it matches us, and if we're happy with that wonderful person we live with, then we have a much better chance of having miracles in our life, because we are at a much better place to allow that to happen. When we do not accept what is before us and we want to pretend it's not happening, then what we're doing is, it's like pushing against the universe, and the universe will push just as hard back. As much force as you give it, it will push back. We have to get into the state of allowance. Allow the truth. Allow what's really going on, and then work from there and find the journey that you want to be on. But since we've gotten to this state, now we need to retrain our brain a little bit. And the way that we retrain our brain is, well, one of the ways anyway that works really, really well, and that's through meditation. And there are many different ways to meditate. And for me, I'm very, very much female, and so it's not very easy for me to sit somewhere and go, that's just not going to happen with me. My brain just doesn't do that, though I do like that sound. And so the meditations that I use every day are very active meditations, and they are meditations to strengthen all the chakras. And they are in this list of videos, and they are free for you, so you are welcome to learn how to do that. And in these meditations, one of the things that I do all the way through is be grateful. I'm grateful for this, I'm grateful for that. And each chakra has its own energy and has its own related auric layer that comes out from us. And the reason I'm bringing that up is because one of the ways to retrain our brain is to teach it again how to be grateful, how to have gratitude and compassion. Now, compassion is one of the biggest energies we come here to pick up on this earth. Compassion and empathy. And so if we can be in a state of meditation and be expressing gratitude, expressing compassion, we are retraining the brain on how to be happy. And the reason that is because we are energy. And if we are not training our brains to accept what is and to love the journey, we will fall back into the if only land. And so the other part of the brain that we need to understand and that we need to retrain is whenever we are feeling angry, whenever we are feeling hatred or resentment, or whenever we get those feelings of, oh, people are so stupid, why would he do that, or why would she do this? When we allowed those energies within our mind and we do not clear them, those almost make sure that we cannot be happy, because those energies want to take up all the room where our gratitude and compassion want to be. And so to retrain the brain, we need to, if anger is coming up, we need to accept, number one, accept what just happened. You know, what are you angry about? Are you angry because you're not accepting what just happened? You know, somebody cut you off in traffic. Whatever happened, whatever you're angry about, there's a fear behind it. When somebody cuts us off in traffic and we almost get in an accident, that's scary. But at the same time, we don't know what that person is going through. We don't know what's just happened in their life. They might be, you know, distraught over something, or they might be just living this life of incredible pain. We don't know. But what we do know is that we can control our own mind. But it takes practice. So when we are feeling the feeling of anger, we need to find out what is the fear behind our anger. And then we need to get to a place of compassion for that being. If we're angry at ourselves, we need to find compassion for ourselves. And this will allow the brain to rewire itself. It will make, you know, our brain, the thoughts we have as they flow over the synapse, they make really like little roads, or maybe little rivers, if you want to look at them like that, in our brain. And the more we have a thought, the deeper that gets. And so the easier it is for the electricity, the thought, to flow through that. And it's going to take the easiest path. Just like water will take the path of least resistance, so will our thoughts. And so if we have these anger thoughts, these thoughts of people are stupid, these thoughts of whatever is negative, you are making those pathways so much deeper every time you have those thoughts. And the energy will flow there instead of flowing to a place of compassion, which brings us happiness. And so find out what you're angry about. Find out what the fear is behind it and release it. Write down if something needs to be done. For instance, if you are angry because you're working for someone who is constantly taking advantage of you because you're a good person, and they are constantly changing your schedule or whatever. Write down what you're angry about. What is your fear behind that? You know, maybe the fear is, oh my gosh, am I stuck with working here forever? And understand that that's not a truth. You can start taking steps on the journey to a new job right away. You get it set up with what you want to do. even if you work just a little bit on your journey every day, it will help you to become so much happier. Find out what you want to do. Work on it a little bit every day. And with that boss, instead of feeling angry, we need to get to a place where we feel compassion. And because, when people treat us like that, it's a good idea to be a shapeshifter for just a minute and feel what it would be to be them. What would it be like to live in that body and be treating people like that? And it's a pretty yucky feeling. So if you can have some compassion and forgive them, and know all the time that you're getting yourself out of here. You don't want to just quit unless, your life is in danger or something. But you want to work towards it every day. And this gives you your power back to forgive everyone as things happen. That will help retrain your brain and bring more happiness into your life. So, what have we talked about this time about being happy? We've talked about how we have forgotten since we were little to enjoy what is in life, to enjoy the beauty, to enjoy the diversity of this beautiful earth, the simple pleasures in life. We get caught in this place of if only, thinking that destination, if we could just get there, we just know we'll be happy. And that's just not true. You've gotten there before, and you're not happy right now. Because it is an untruth that the destination will make you happy. It might make things a little easier in your life, but then you will just start out on another journey. And you will be looking towards the next goal you want, which goals are important. But remember to put most of your energy on the journey itself, to find out what you love in life, and find a way to do it. Find a way to be able to live a life that matches who you are. Find your way to that person who matches you. And you cannot do this with force, remember, because the universe will force back. We have to do it with seeing it, knowing what we want to work at, and allowing this to come forward in our life by enjoying the journey to get there. Because then we're just going to plan another journey. Remember to retrain your brain. Whenever you feel angry, whenever you feel disgusted, whenever you just think people are just horrible, do some shape shifting. Take on their shape. Feel what would it be like to be them, and then come from a place of compassion. But put some thought into your life. Put some thought into what you do like and what you don't. And put more thought into what you do. And I promise you, if you will enjoy the journey, and if you will retrain your brain so that it comes from a place of compassion and a place of empathy, you will have more happiness in your life. You won't keep going into that if only land. Because even if you do get there, it's not going to be the end all. Happiness is in here. We have to find what we match with. We have to enjoy our journeys, because we'll be on one after another while we're here. And miracles will happen if we change our brain patterns and retrain them to going in a place of compassion and empathy instead of anger, bitterness, resentment, all the negative energies. Those will just really suck the life out of you. So, write down what you love. Start taking little steps every day and enjoy the journey you're on. I know I'm enjoying mine, and it's taken me a while to understand things and get here. But I love my life. I love helping people. I so enjoy nature. I enjoy the little things in life. And I have enjoyed retraining my brain. And anyone can do this. So, blessings, my friends. I hope you have a wonderful day or night, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.